Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumbray here again for JoBlo.com at the Toronto International Film Festival, kicking off our coverage with a review of Yorgos Lanthimos' Killing of a Sacred Deer. His follow-up to The Lobster, this reunites him with star Colin Farrell for a modern take on the classic Greek tragedy. Here, Farrell plays a cardiac surgeon who develops a fatherly friendship with the teenage son of a former patient who died under his watch. Soon, the boy, played by Dunkirk's Barry Keoghan, starts ingratiating himself into the surgeon's life and eventually makes a startling demand of the doctor that's connected to the rapidly deteriorating health of his two children. Now, this is a grim tale, but The Killing of the Sacred Deer nonetheless has the same weird, satiric vein of Lanthimos' other films, with all of the actors seemingly having been directed to completely remove any emotion from their performances, saying everything in a matter-of-fact, blank way that gives us a unique, otherworldly feel that adds to the art house genre aesthetic. Given this technique, it's highly unlikely the film would have worked nearly as well if it wasn't so impeccably cast. With Farrell delivering a haunting but also quite funny performance in the lead. Nicole Kidman plays his wife and brings an icy edge once she's, in a way, drafted into being his co-conspirator, with them basically having to weigh their children's lives against each other. As the sinister teen, Keoghan, who you might remember from Dunkirk as the boy who gets hurt by Cillian Murphy with Mark Rylance, gives a menacing performance that stands as one of the big breakout parts of the last few years. Like the others, he plays his part without any emotion at all, making him all the more menacing in that he truly seems to have a kind of demonic, otherworldly feel in the way he's so dispassionate in all of this. Although I would have to say that the horror aspect of the plot is quite ambiguous. Through it all, Lanthimos, while working at a deliberate pace, keeps the film richly absorbing, with the awkward humor as perfectly pitched as it was in Lobster, such as a moment where Kidman pretends to be unconscious in a way to turn her husband on, and also what might be the most uncomfortable father-son heart-to-heart in the history of cinema, which I'm not going to spoil here. The sparse soundtrack consists mostly of classical music played at absolutely decibel-shattering levels, as well as the occasional gonzo touch, such as the use of an Ellie Goulding pop tune. Thoroughly bizarre in that it's so off-kilter, even before the actual premise kicks in, The Killing of a Sacred Deer should nonetheless strike a chord with both art house audiences and even a more mainstream audience, which might be drawn in by the cast. It's compelling, weird, and utterly unique, and a real find for an adventurous movie fan. I give this one a strong 8 out of 10. From the Toronto International Film Festival, I'm Chris Bumbray from JoBlo.